Till, our film, is exploring what happens in preparation for Emmett to travel to the South to enjoy a vacation with his family, with his cousins. And after the death and lynching of him, we are witness to the bravery and the courage that Mamie Till Bradley navigates in order to find justice for her son, to find some semblance of justice for herself, and therein justice for the Black community that is experiencing this on an amplified basis. Because it wasn't just happening to, it didn't just happen to her family. It was happening in a proliferated fashion. And there are moments, and this is a moment that gets amplified because of the nature of the time. The way she navigated space as a woman, as an elegant woman in a very masculine patriarchal world, be it Black or white, right? She is leading with a divine feminine, leadership that, how do you do that? Like it's that awe-inspiring to watch. She's not in pictures with women, she's in pictures with men. And yet she is very porous in being able to take all of this stuff in because she was living a very, very different life. She was not, and to learn that she was creating a particular kind of a boundary that happens when understanding Southern Black experience. She's a Southern-born Black woman, but she is living this Chicagoan respectability life, and that life is still impacted by the happenings and the reckonings and the wretchedness of the South. And so she undergoes this insane wave of change personally, and then moves forward in activating herself after all of this to influence others. So it's all of that, like the kind of whirlwind experience that she had, I had no clue about. We get to see how Mamie fights for justice. We get to see how she changes the interior of her, coming to understand that Black people are all deeply connected, that all people are deeply connected. And if something is happening to one of us, it is happening to all of us. And we witness her come into a particular kind of power, a feminine power that we witness in her growing in leadership to push and care for the memory and the love that she has for her son, and therein the memory and love that she has for the community, the Southern community, and therein the global community, in the way that she empowers herself to tell her story, to tell the experience of what has happened to her family, and how she transcends it to become the woman that we've witnessed through the decades post-1955, post the loss of Emmett, to be an educator, to be an activist, and to be the progenitor of the civil rights movement. At the start of the film, we catch them singing together, enjoying each other, enjoying what Emmett thoroughly did, which was music, and just being alive and free in that moment. And then we fall into the kind of matriarchal feeling that you always have and wanting to care for your child. And that kind of begins to stroke over the experience of the film. What does it mean to be a mother, a Black mother, and wanting to make sure your child is okay, feeling what is happening to your child, and then trying to mold and sculpt whatever you can from what has happened to your child. We're just at a point where things are activated even more as a result of social media. So we get to witness it firsthand. We get to witness it instantly. Whereas with regard to the media that was happening in 1955, it was a fresh thing, right? And Mamie was intelligent enough to know to navigate that space and to utilize it to her benefit, which therein made the understanding and about what happened to Emmett that much more broadened. So we're dealing with the same things today. When Mamie made the choice to have a public viewing, to have an open casket, she is inviting community in to mourn with her. The levels of challenge, horrible term, like not words don't do enough to explain, to give a thorough enough understanding as to what she endured. I don't have a thorough enough understanding. You know, the only people who understand that are the black mothers who've lost their children to police violence, or the black mothers who've lost their children to violence in a particular manner. That she wanted community to come to her. She wanted to be able to continuously tell. I think that's one manner of telling the story. So to tell the story is to show. Right? So we show, we tell. Therein she started to tell. She started to go on these fundraising tours with the NAACP to garner support to even get down to Mississippi. So that's a manner of telling a story, by showing. And then there's another manner of telling the story by literally speaking it. And she said that it was therapeutic for her to tell the story. And you don't get through anything like this without community. You just don't. And that's what happens when we lose anyone in a violent manner or of natural causes. We bring ourselves together. And so with that, Mamie made the choice to share with the world what is happening to us, what was happening to us, what continues to happen to us. And that enabled her to heal, I think. Working with Whoopi Goldberg, Whoopi is, I've said this before, she's a bit of a trickster. She's hilarious, right? She brought levity to a set that's dealing with a deep weight and tension. Like, everybody's feeling it, right? The crew is feeling it, the cast is feeling it. It's something that is just sitting on you. But when Whoopi showed up, it got to do this a little bit. It got to float. Working with Jalen the first time, it's via the audition. And Jalen came in super charismatic. He complimented me on my smile. And I'm like, excuse me, little boy, who you talking to? You know? But that was that spark of personality and flair that says, oh gosh, you know, if we're talking about Emmett, we're talking about somebody who's full of vibrancy, who's full of a particular kind of freedom, that other people maybe at the time didn't quite understand. Like, you just go, who is this person, and what spirit is working around them? And that's what he came with. And Jalen has come with that throughout the shoot. You know, he's just a dear heart. The biggest thing that I hope audiences to carry with them, to seep into their beings, is change, and how change is a communal effort. It's an emotional undertaking to witness and to feel any semblance of what this film endures. And even as a woman moving through the mourning that she was moving through, she had the wherewithal and the open heart and mind and spirit to be aware of who she was and who she needed to be and who she wanted to become after this. And that was a person of community.